Good morning and welcome to my kitchen.
Hi.
I want to thank Doug Howman,
Aww.
a great friend and neighbor who has on Dougcooking on all social platforms, who's here. I'm in a boot, so he's teaching me how to do videos.
And you're teaching me how to do Kugel, but it's, what do you call this?
Lokshen Kugel.
Lokshen Kugel, that's what we're making today.
Lokshen Kugel, which is a traditional Jewish dish. Kugel is a noodle pudding. Lokshen is Yiddish for noodle.
Oh, okay.
So it's real simple.
Okay. And where is this recipe coming from?
This recipe comes from my mom, Doretta, who would always enter these contests in Buffalo, New York for her Kugel. And she never won. But every year she would enter the contest, and but she used raisins a lot of times.
Okay.
And I like the sweetness of it.
Yes.
I like it more as a breakfast dish.
I've had that with raisins.
Right.
But you're doing something different.
I'm doing it with pineapple, crushed pineapple, which gives it a sweetness.
Mm. And Roger, I was asking you earlier, is this the time of year for Kugel?
If you're looking at Jewish traditional meals, no. But if you're looking at meals that I like to serve and I like to eat, absolutely. If I'm having people over for brunch, for a Jewish brunch, I'm serving Kugel with bagels and cream cheese and lox and whitefish and baba ganoush and tabbouleh and tuna salad. The works.
So you just make it when you want to make it?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Well, I love it. Well, let's make it. I've never made it.
All right. So the ingredients, it's an easy recipe. The ingredients are, it starts out with a wide egg noodle that you want to use, not a thin one, but a wide one to give it the texture. We're going to use about 1.5 bags of noodles. We're going to use 1 pound of sour cream, 1 pound of cottage cheese, half a cup of sugar, half a stick of butter, a small can of crushed pineapple, and 6 eggs. That's it. Oh, and a little bit of cinnamon.
Oh, I love that.
If you want cinnamon. So that's all we use for this dish. We're going to preheat the oven to 375. And we have water working right now for the pasta. So as I mentioned before, there's 6 eggs in the dish.
So you're cracking some. You got 4 in there right now.
Yep.
That's number 5. And our water's up to the boil.
And this is not a dish, Doug, that if you're lactose intolerant, not a dish for you.
You really just can't swap out all these things. There's a lot of dairy.
You can make it, if you're gluten problem, you can get gluten pasta.
Yeah. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah, you can whisk the eggs.
Okay, great.
Love this whisk. It's a half whisk, but
yeah.
And I want to, so that incorporates the yolks and the whites together, so it doesn't like ball up when it's cooking.
Yes.
And I'm going to take the cottage cheese. Like I said before, it's a pound of cottage cheese. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the ingredients into the bowl. And then when the noodles are done, we'll incorporate the noodles into the dish and then bake it. We're baking at 375. And it takes about 30 to 45 minutes.
All right, I love this. So it's just like pretty much 2 full containers with, you said like about 1 pound or 2 cups each?
Yeah, 2 cups of sour cream and 1 pound of cottage cheese.
And that's how your mother wrote it on her
That's how she wrote it.
recipe.
And it always kind of confuses me because I always have to like, okay, how many ounces are in a cup? And for all those students that I have, it's 8 ounces are in a cup.
Yes. And what about the eggs?
Just dump them in.
Dump them in.
Dump them in.
Okay.
So it saves time to kind of mix the sour cream and the eggs and the cottage cheese. Then I add the butter to it and the pineapple. And like I said, it's at the end once the noodles only take 4 minutes, but I like to do that at the end.
All right, so we've got our dairy and eggs mixed. Your butter, I think, is almost done melting.
Yeah, we can just add that right in right now.
You're going to add it straight in.
Yep.
And you don't worry about it cooking the eggs.
No.
It never happens. It must be all that dairy protects it. Should I open up our pineapple?
Yeah, if you could open up the pineapple, it would be great. And I like to strain the juice. And now, Doug, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
The reason we're saving the juice is because I'm sure Doug can think of a way that can incorporate that juice and not have it go waste down
Well,
the drain.
yeah, I mean, definitely.
Make a cocktail or something.
That sounds great. I'm going to try it.
I'm also going to add half a cup of sugar. My mom's recipe had more sugar in it, but because I'm using the pineapple, it has a natural sweetener. We don't need as much.
This is crushed pineapple too, right?
Yeah, use crushed.
Should I go ahead and toss it?
Just toss it right in.
Okay. This is pretty easy, Roger.
It's very easy. Well, that's what the whole thing about regional foods and ethnic foods. They're not difficult.
No.
I mean, they're kind of made. They're made for the common person. I'm going to put the pasta in now. Like I said before, it's like 1.5 bags of pasta.
Okay. And do you salt the water or anything, or no, because this is a savory dish?
If you want to, you can.
Okay. One and a half bags, is that what you
Yeah, whatever
call
you want
for?
to use.
And these are,
Whoops.
what are these, 1 pound bags? Or?
12 ounces.
All right.
The bags used to be bigger, but
I bet they did.
But everything else, well, I burned myself out. Not going to go for that.
Okay.
About 4 minutes, but I give it. Usually, I go about 5 minutes because when you put the noodles in, the water stops boiling, so it kind of gives it a little extra time.
Drops the temperature from that
Exactly.
moment. All right. So Roger, you could do this in like a bigger 9 by 13, but you're doing 2 smaller
I'm doing
ones.
2 smaller ones so you can take one home.
I love it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I will love that.
So I also like to spray it, and I spray it well because it makes cleanup a little bit easier.
Now, if somebody wanted to use butter,
Absolutely.
they could do that too.
Absolutely.
All right. You're getting your facial.
You got to do it some way. You want to pour those in here and we'll kind of stir these?
This is funny. I would see if I was making this without your guidance, I would think that I'd be cooking my egg
I
custard.
do about half.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
That's all right. Again, it's foolproof.
Okay. Yeah, I would be worried that I was going to cook the custard if the noodles were too hot or the butter. I like that it's so easy.
Well, it's also easy, but then think of this, Doug. You're putting it in the oven as soon as this is mixed.
True. It's pretty.
It is pretty. Now, are you a cinnamon fan?
I do like cinnamon.
You're looking for more direction than it needs.
Than it needs. Just dump it in. And I guess if someone was asking, that's like somewhere like quarter to half.
A quarter or half a teaspoon.
Gotcha.
But it's to taste. I mean, it's what you like to do.
It smells good.
Thank you.
I love it. I like the pineapple. Easy breezy.
And like we mentioned before, we can make a larger pan, but I'm making 2 smaller pans now.
Okay.
Did it look even?
Yeah, it looks pretty even.
If I wasn't putting it so much on the counter.
Well, that's me.
Doug, if you can just put these in the oven.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was at 375.
And we're just like, it's a middle rack kind of thing, right?
Yeah, just put it on the top rack.
Top rack?
Yep.
Okay, so how long?
It's usually 30 to 45 minutes. I mean,
Okay.
the larger pan, I usually do like 45 minutes.
Okay.
But because it's 2 smaller pans, it might take a little less time.
Like 35 to 40.
Yeah, once you start seeing it kind of like brown at the top, you don't want it to burn, but
Okay.
it'll be bubbling.
Bubbly and a little golden on the edges.
Very golden.
Oh,
Very golden.
I love it. All right. Honest, do you smell Noodle Kugel? Where is it? Where's the Noodle Kugel?
So let me see it. It'll jump up.
Where is it? Where's the Noodle Kugel? Where is it? Do you see it? Oh, it must be out there. Actually, I think it's still in the oven.
It's been about, how long has it been, Doug?
It's been about 35 minutes.
35 minutes?
Yeah.
So let's pull them out.
What do you think?
I think they're perfect.
Oh, yeah. Bubbling.
Now the best thing to do, what I like to do is I usually make these a day ahead of time.
Uh-huh.
Like lasagna, the next day it's like easier to cut and it solidifies
Sets
and
up.
it sets.
Oh, they look great.
So we're going to let these cool for a few minutes. All right, Doug, so these are the 2 kugel. We let them sit for a little bit.
Yeah, it's cooled off. It pulled away a little bit from the edges.
Absolutely. So I'm going to have you cut us each a piece.
Okay.
Either one, doesn't matter.
All right. Oh, it sets up really nice. Now, these are hot. You said off camera to me that you sometimes make this the day ahead.
I always make it the day ahead.
And then you really let it set up and reheat it.
Exactly.
If someone were to let it cool in the fridge and then reheat it, what would you suggest for a reheat time and temperature?
Oh, 15 minutes at
Oh, okay.
like 300 degrees.
And this is like a great brunch
And it's
dish
already
then.
cut. Yep. Here's
I
a
love
fork
it.
for you.
I'm excited.
So you can see how it kind of holds up.
Yeah, it's really set up. I love the crispy noodle.
Now here comes the time where we try it and roll our eyes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Mmm. Oh, that was good.
Isn't it good?
That was really good. It's got a really nice light sweetness from the pineapple.
You can taste the pineapple.
I can taste it.
So that's why I say I don't care what time of year it is. If you want to eat kugel, it's easy enough to do.
I love all
So
this.
bon appetit.
Nice job.
I should learn how to say that in Hebrew.
No, you should. I'm going to now make some noodle kugel.
All right, good.
Thank you.